Good morning. Welcome to Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. It's Monday. That's the bad news. Good news is brand new week. Got a lot going on this week here at HCC, and we've got a great show lined up for you for the next half hour. Your news, your information, and some special guests, and a whole lot more. My co-host this morning, Dr. Amy Tan's joining me. Good to see you again, Amy.
Good morning. Ready to be here.
And you got rained on in your run this morning.
I did. I thought, okay, it's not going to rain over here till 7 a.m. So I can get 3 or 4 in. And on the first mile, I had to turn around and got drenched the whole second mile.
Yeah. I don't like running in the rain. That's just not a pastime of mine that I enjoy. So I feel your pain. Interesting thing. I had a bit of a mishap over the weekend. Went to Austin and got trapped in an elevator for an hour.
I just can't even imagine this, Todd.
Well, I'm going to show a few pictures because I want to thank the Austin Fire Department for rescuing me. So I'm going to share my screen right now. If you can see this. Okay, so firefighters showed up. So this happened in the afternoon. I'm on the elevator with a friend's dog. I went to take the dog out, right? And of course, there they are. We're trapped in the floor. And the dog, the poor dog, there he is right there, Elio. This was his look the whole time, the whole hour, trapped on the elevator. But luckily, he'd just gone to the bathroom, so we didn't have that issue while we're on the elevator. But we actually had to crawl out. So I'll stop sharing my screen right now. We actually had to crawl out from the elevator, and that was an interesting thing as well. But thanks to the Austin Fire Department, nobody was hurt. Best part about it, you want to hear the absolute best part?
I do.
The whole trip. They comped the stay, so we didn't pay for the 2 nights. So. Yeah.
That is excellent. I feel like that's the least they can do.
Yeah. You get stuck in an elevator for an hour. So that was good times.
Wow.
But I did get to run around the lake earlier in the morning. So at least I got that in. It was actually nice weather. Hey, folks, as we mentioned, we've got your HCC news and information. Before we get to our guests, Amy, we want to remind everybody we're on Facebook Live and YouTube every morning, 10 a.m., Mondays through Fridays. But they can also find us in social media and on HCCTV.
That's correct. So look for Houston Community College District, not HCC, on Facebook, on our Facebook page and on YouTube. That's going to be, we're also on Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and on HCCTV at noon, 5 and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
All right, Amy, stick around because you'll be interviewing this next guest. We're going to bring her on quickly. Dr. Uyen Tieu is the Executive Director of Wraparound Services at Houston Independent School District. Dr. Tieu, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're looking forward to hearing all about the services you offer. So Amy's going to be talking with you shortly. We'll be with you in about 10 minutes. Okay, let's kick things off. We're going to meet now the HCC's interim OER coordinator, Dr. James Ross-Nazal. And Jim, thank you for being here on the show. We've always talked about what OER stands for, but long story short, this is a great thing for our students because it dramatically reduces the cost of textbooks or even takes the cost away altogether, right?
Yes, it does. It's a wonderful program. It is the ability of for students in the Z degree program to have a no cost for their entire degree, and for the OER, it's an opportunity for faculty to start with the faculty to become engaged in a writing. Authoring their own OER in order to fulfill their professional development needs, and in order to assist the students who are desperately needing no cost.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, I mean, I graduated from college a few years back, let's say. But I remember back in those days, we're going to say early 90s, we'll go with that. I was still paying maybe $800, $900, maybe $1,000 a semester just for books. And we're talking $1990. Before OER, was that traditionally the cost that students were paying? Do you know what they were paying out of pocket for books on an average each semester?
Oh, it was absolutely insane. It really was. I was fortunate to have gone to college slightly before your time that you just said, and so they were more reasonable to the extent in which I was able to go to the bookstore and buy books that simply interested me. That's how affordable they were. They are so unaffordable today that students have to share books. I've had students in my class who could not afford that $250 textbook, and so they've come together to buy it and then to share it, or they get very frustrated that they have to buy a very expensive textbook,
right?
And then it's not used in its entirety.
What's the difference between a Z degree and OER?
Well, OER is any resource that is made available to students, usually at no cost to them. And the Z degree is a opportunity to achieve a degree, and we have just a few degrees right now. One of my goals is to develop those opportunities from beginning to end, from STEM to STERN, 100% no cost.
I know HCC has embraced the concept of OER and the Z degree, but if our students are transferring to a partnering university, are they embracing this as well? Like if they go to U of H, or maybe if they transfer to Baylor or maybe UT Tyler or something like that, will they still be able to take advantage of these opportunities from what you're seeing from your colleagues at other colleges?
Oh, very much so. Very much so. Students are able to transfer their credits and their degrees, and faculty at other institutions are also embracing the OER movement. They're either authoring or they're using OER textbooks. OpenStax is probably the most well-known provider of these OER textbooks, and they're just being used all over the country.
Is this a trend that you think is going to continue to grow, or has it reached its limit right now?
It'll grow because students need it, and we faculty and administrators have become more concerned about what we can do to help students to succeed, and the economic aspect is one very important part of helping students to succeed. And so these OER textbooks, readers, and ancillaries are an exceptionally important part. My students tell me that every class and every semester. They thank me for having an OER class in which there is no cost to them whatsoever.
You also, at the top, you were mentioning about faculty writing for OER, they're sourcing their own materials. You're an author. Tell us about what you wrote and how does that work to get this published and open for everyone? Sure.
In 2018, I started to write a U.S. history textbook, and I wanted to write something that was inherently different from what was out there. I saw too many textbooks that were that shared the same themes, that shared the same aspects, that shared the same angles, and so I wanted to write one that would really grab and maintain the attention of our students. And so I began that process, and then about a year or so later, there was this discussion on Twitter among university OER instructors about using graduate students to provide content for their OER, and their conclusion was no, they weren't going to do that. And so I said, challenge accepted. And I went to my students and I told them, what do you guys think? And they thought that was an interesting idea. And so since 2019, I've been working with my students to help them provide content to this. It is a large and ever-growing textbook that includes HCC student content. They are excited about the opportunity, and even those who haven't provided content, let's say that they just started the first couple of weeks of the course, they are excited about reading the words of fellow undergraduates. Pride is the word that they use to be part of this program.
So in essence, you're creating a living document that's going to be used as curriculum in the future as well?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's something that I use in all my classrooms, in all my classes. It's an assignment. It's a research tool because everything is well documented. So with footnotes, and so students also use that as to research.
Dr. Jim Ross-Nazal, we appreciate you joining us, our interim OER coordinator. Thanks for being here on the show.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
All right, have a good one. If you want more information about OER, well, we'll put some links in our social media post after the show where you can find it on the website. Okay, Amy, we've got a visitor from Houston ISD. We'll talk about wraparound services.
Yes, I'm so happy to welcome Dr. Uyen Tieu, the HISD Executive Director of Wraparound Services and our Mental Health Monday guest. Welcome, Dr. Tieu.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. With the sunshine coming out now. Not
right.
So to start us off, will you talk a little bit about what wraparound services are?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am so proud and honored to be part of the Houston ISD Wraparound Services Department. So encompassing wraparound services, we support our scholars and families with the non-instructional support. We're the connector to the families and students, the necessary resources, services, give them access to examples, services such as mental and physical health, housing, food, and more, just to make sure that the students have what they need to remove those possible barriers that hinders them from academic achievement. So that's the big picture of what our department does.
Much needed services, which we see more and more, especially since the pandemic, right, has really, right? And I know those needs were there before, but the pandemic has really magnified those and brought them to the public attention.
Yes, absolutely. Just in the last school year, the 21-22 school year, we received over 100,000 requests for services ranging from basic needs to mental and physical health to items as, school supplies, food. And one of our biggest partner in this is Houston Food Bank to really address the food insecurities that we have within our city.
Houston Food Bank they're such a wonderful part of the Houston community. They do so much work and they're really good partners with our all of our educational institutions in Houston.
Yeah,
so,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
This year we're expanding their support and partnership by having what's called super food pantry within the elementary campuses across the 270 plus campuses. So we're really excited to continue with the partnership and really strengthen that partnership and providing more resources for our students and families.
That's fantastic. How is a super food pantry different from other models?
So we have like the school market. The super food pantry is where Houston Food Bank provides the non-perishable items, and sometimes they even partner with local grocery stores to provide goods of food supplies for the students. So that's even beyond just canned food, but actual vegetables. There's meat. There's different types depending on the area. So we work very tightly with Houston Food Bank based on the data and really strategically planning out where do we have these food pantries or brick and mortar campuses to where there's actually a freezer at the campus and the community can come and have like meat and vegetables and such. So it's very exciting.
Just incredible. Can you tell us how do you identify students who need these resources?
So what we have is student assistance form, or we call it SAF. It's available on HISD website. If you search wraparound services, student assistance form, anybody can submit a form. And then what happens is one of our wraparound specialists will route that based on what the needs are. Then we'll connect the student to the necessary resources or the services that are needed. Very simple process. it could be anonymous. It doesn't have to have, nobody has to identify the name. You can be a community member, you can be a parent, a teacher, even the student, he or herself can actually submit that form. And we have the Google Translate where we can translate it to Spanish or Vietnamese or other languages.
That's wonderful to really recognize who our community is. And I think to see our schools going beyond, of course, right, wraparound, going beyond the central mission of educating our students and recognizing that you can't educate the student who is lacking in these other basic needs.
Right. It's when you refer to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, if the basic needs are not met, if the students do not feel safe or secure, it's very difficult to focus on the academic component. So in wraparound, what we do is we remove our effort to remove those barriers so that teachers can really focus on educating the students on the academic side. So it's working collaboratively with the campus leaders, the teachers, and the faculties and staff just to ensure that we are servicing the whole child.
And so you're mentioning wraparound specialists. How do students find the wraparound specialist?
So I am just excited to share that we have a wraparound specialist at every campus as part of our superintendent's initiative is to ensure at least one wraparound specialist at every campus. So the wraparound specialists, they are part of the community, part of the campus staff to where they make themselves available through arrival, dismissal, transitional periods, and really connecting with the students and the family and advertising and promoting. We also facilitate community events where we have within the community of feeder schools, let's say your Zone 2 X high school, all the middle school, all the elementary schools that are within that geographical area, we facilitate a community event. Local providers, business partners, and volunteers can come together. So that's how, from the wraparound specialists, so that's how they get the words out there. So there's advertising, there's word of mouth, all the marketing strategy, and just really building those positive relationships at the campus and being visible. Visibility is key in supporting these students.
That's a huge commitment to have a wraparound specialist at every single HISD campus because we have so many.
We have 276 campuses, so at least one at every campus. For the high schools, most of the high schools have 2 wraparound specialists. So our district is really vested in supporting the whole child academically and non-instructionally. So that's where we fall in.
And do you have an advisory council that helps you make decisions about wraparound services?
Yes. So annually, every school year, we have about 4 meetings. They're called the Wraparound Advisory Council, which composed of the wraparound specialist, the manager, myself. I hop in on as many as I can, the campus principal and community members, parents, and we need to add on a student voice and choice also. So because we're serving the students, so we need to make sure that we hear what they want as well. So yes, we do have, it's called the Wraparound Advisory Council. We meet 4 times a year.
That's wonderful to include all of the stakeholder voices in the planning and looking at trends and patterns in schools. So to wrap us up, it looks like you might be hiring some specialists.
Yes, we are looking for some fantastic wraparound specialists. The requirement is 4 years college degree. We'll train you up, and it's an amazing opportunity to support and serve the students in the community. So if you're interested, send them my way.
I will definitely spread the word. I have a feeling there's a lot of recent grads out there who would love to be part of this work.
Yeah, it's very rewarding work.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Uyen Tieu, HISD Executive Director of Wraparound Services, and our Mental Health Monday guest. We'll have all the information about the program in our post after the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you. Very interesting service that HISD offers, and much, Amy, it's much needed, because the point is you can't just expect the kids to make it through school if they don't have the support outside of the classroom. And this kind of gets in that.
100%. You really have to address the barriers that they're facing before they even get into the classroom so that they can focus.
Right. Very forward thinking. Okay, let's get on with some announcements for today. Darla Barolini, she's a Southwest faculty member. She's got an exhibition happening across the district involving several faculty artists. They're on exhibition right now. The figurative paintings of Professor Darla Barolini are currently featured at the Stafford Gallery. If you haven't been out there, it's pretty cool. Great building. The reception will be held later this week, 5 p.m. Wednesday, August 31st. That's this coming Wednesday. And it'll run through October 28th at HCC's Southwest College Stafford Fine Arts Gallery. Not to be confused with the Stafford Center. That's on the other side of the street. The gallery is the one that's kind of across the street from our campus. So make sure you check that out. And we've got tutoring workshops that are going on as well, Amy.
We do. If you need help this fall, or if you know a student who does, HCC offers several tutoring workshops. We will have Eagle Chat, 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. on Thursday, August 31st. The Balancing Act from 12:15 to 12:45 p.m. on Thursday, August 31st. And also Effective Note-Taking from 10 a.m. on Thursday, September 1st. These are workshops that you can register for, and that information is in the post.
Okay, another thing going on, the DEI Fall Podcast Series. They are about to launch very soon. In fact, on September 1st, which is this Thursday, Dr. Donna Davis, HCC's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Officer, soon hosting the first DEI podcast of the fall season. Monthly sessions, they'll be always examining topics which will be of interest. The first one, 11:30 a.m. to noon, Thursday, September 1st. The topic is cross-cultural effects of assimilation versus acculturation. The guest speaker is Michael Ayers, professor of sociology. That's happening this Thursday. We'll be launching it live, so make sure you join him. And another important thing that we need to talk about, suicide prevention among our veteran community.
So it fits right with our Mental Health Monday. HCC's Counseling and Ability Services will team up with the VA Mental Health Care Line to present suicide prevention in the veteran community. That will be noon to 1 p.m. on Thursday, September 8th, online via Zoom, and you do need to register.
Okay. Here's another popular thing that you will need to register for. The Mattress Mack School of Selling is returned, and it is at Gallery Furniture. That's right, 6 to 10 p.m. Mondays through Thursdays. HCC's Northwest Mattress Mack School of Selling in Work, Texas, now offering an expanded on-site program that includes Jim McInvale's successful customer service training. If you'd like to sign up for this, do it now. They're very popular. They fill up. It's through September 27th at Gallery Furniture. We'll have some information on how to register in our post after the show. And the Bedichek Orman auction is happening. Are you participating in this?
Oh, I definitely am. I've already picked out my dress.
It's prom. Is that the theme? Prom? Is that what
prom night? That's right. That's right. Get ready for prom night, everyone. And I think the decades will be well represented.
That's what I was wondering. Is it going to be 80s, 90s, all of the above, I guess?
All of the above. I think it'll be really fun to see people coming out in the dress that they wore or the tuxedo that they wore when they went to prom.
Yeah, well, I won't mention that I wore a powder blue tuxedo for my prom, the first one.
Man, you need to dig that out and come on out.
It's long gone. I rented it. I wouldn't keep that thing. It was atrocious. But yeah, I had a top hat and everything. Yeah. And a black eye, but we won't go into that story. But yeah.
I feel like you can maybe find that at a thrift store,
You could. Yeah. I don't know if I'd want to wear it ever again. I mean, I don't know what I was thinking. What was I thinking? It was a powder blue tuxedo. It had everything, but
I bet you fit right in with the time period and everyone else.
I had a cane, a top hat, cummerbund. I mean, I had the smoking, man. I had like the ruffled shirt and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
I'll see if I can find a picture. But if you want to participate in the Bedichek Orman auction, it supports a worthwhile professional development opportunities for our HCC faculty. Fun evening. You can bid on all types of crazy stuff, some valuable stuff. Sometimes they have trips, packages, all types of things you can bid on. It's Friday, October 28th at the West Houston Institute. All you need to do is register, show up, and you can wear your prom dress or your tuxedo that you'd like.
Fun for everyone.
All right. Something for everybody. Real quickly, before we wrap up, if you want to sign up for the fall semester, well, guess what? It's already underway. But we have shorter sessions, Amy. If they want to sign up, they need to do so because as the semester progresses, I imagine the sessions get shorter and they're more intense and it can be difficult at times.
They do. That's something I think students need to keep in mind when you're signing up for a shorter session. You're still taking the same amount of contact hours. So in a 16-week session, you're doing 48 contact hours, and in a 12-week session, you're still doing 48 contact hours. But
It's
you
a
still
lot
have
of
time.
You still have time. Go to hccs.edu/apply. Register now for that. Okay, tomorrow on the show, we'll learn about the dental assisting program at Coleman College, and it's Tasty Tuesday. We'll explore Mediterranean cuisine with craft pitas. Rafael Nassar. Okay. So that'll be cool. I love Mediterranean food. So that'll be tomorrow. Amy, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Don't go run in the rain anymore. Okay.
No, I'll have to do better. Check in on the weather.
All right. Have a great day, folks. We'll be back tomorrow morning live, 10 a.m. for Up to the Minute.